Tower and Sword of Succubus is a collection of three small Zelda-like hentai games, where you play as a succubus who, after a rather forceful awakening, is given the simple goal of either assuming the role of the legendary hero, who obviously died after foolishly trying to non-con a literal succubus, in Sword of Succubus, or fighting through a monstrous tower in order to reclaim her power, which was somehow stolen by the mage who both freed and also died trying to non-con her in Tower of Succubus. Much like in the games they pay homage to, in both Sword and Tower of Succubus you play from a top-down view, exploring the world, talking to NPCs, gathering key items, backtracking, and advancing side quests, all in order either to strengthen your character or to unlock new dungeons to explore, which is the main point of the game. Of the two, Tower is the simplest and most linear, merely tasking you with climbing up the progressively more challenging levels of the tower, solving puzzles to progress, either fighting enemies or collecting items to level up, defeating bosses every few levels, and occasionally backtracking in order to access secret areas with late game abilities, all in a rather standard, though competent, fashion, making the hentai scenes you sometimes collect the only thing that really makes this game stand out from its competitors. Sword of Succubus, however, is a lot more complex and unique, as it introduces quite a few mechanics, mostly related to its hentai content, that not only truly interact with the standard Zelda-like elements, but also does so in a very interesting way, giving the game its own singular flavor. Like the milk, a resource that you generate naturally through time and certain sexual actions, which is necessary to complete certain side quests and that can be exchanged for money once you finish them all. Dress break, as you can be stripped naked of your already revealing outfit if it takes enough damage, causing you to then take extra damage from then on, as well as making you vulnerable to being grabbed by certain enemies, if you know what I mean, and the seduction mechanics, with the latter being done primarily through the charm spell, which allows you to insta-kill certain enemies, all while gaining various resources, such as HP, MP, and Essence, which is used to gain money to a particular side quest, as well as the simple but creative ways the hentai content is simply integrated into the story, as, due to you playing as a succubus, many of the rituals necessary to increase your power involve, you guessed it, sex. I was unfortunately unable to test out Succubus Hunter, as a quite egregiously still unsolved issue in its code makes it unable to be played outside of the game's beta version. While the translators claim it should be able to run without issues in said version, I'm not in a good enough financial situation to risk my PC over it. So I'll leave it up to you all to test that out if you're curious enough to do so. Though, frankly, I'd still thoroughly recommend you to buy the collection even if you're not, since I consider the games that do run well to be more than enough for the asking price, despite all the mentioned issues. And that will be it for today. If you liked this video, please do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, etc. And I genuinely do hope to see you next time. If you really liked it, I'd also really appreciate if you could support me financially, either through a one-time paid comment donation or by joining my membership, where for $1 a month, you get to participate in exclusive polls in order to decide which videos I'll make next. Like, which of my plans should I focus on? Which of the content I have in mind do you want to see first? That kind of thing, as well as get your name put in this fancy little screen right here. Just as a small gesture of appreciation, exactly for your monthly support. But of course, no matter how much you choose to give me, as well as if you choose to give me anything at all, do know that I really appreciate any cent you're willing to throw my way, as well as just the fact that you're watching this video up to this point at all. But with all that stuff out of the way, I think it's finally time to, as always, bid you guys farewell. Obscure Anime out.